Once you are the proud owner of a king-size press, I would suggest that it would be necessary to have some additions to the press. Normally, if you have found a press like this, I would start with the plywood on the press, let's say from 2 centimeters, and on that you put a zinc or a plastic plate to protect the surface of the press bed. And because you're doing that, you can put here, for example, and here in the middle of the press bed, you put 2 notches, and you need them for your crowbar. You know, if you have a stone on this press which is completely filling up your press bed, then you have this area you need it really to have the possibility to put up the stone. I'll show you that in the next film, but just to remind you, if you put the plywood on, take care of this, put 2 notches in it for the crowbar. Now that's number 1 as an addition. The second addition is the fact that your press should be electrically driven. You're not going to work by hand as they did in the 19th century. And there were 2 persons working on the press and pulling it through. But nowadays you do not do that. You make your press electric, and I'll show you the other side where I do have the gearbox. Now, as you see here, I took away the protection, and then you see the combination of 2 cogwheels, and they decide what kind of speed you will have with your press. Now, I do have colleagues who prefer to have a larger speed, so that the whole thing goes quicker through the press, but I decided to have the speed which I get when I work by hand. And a friend of mine, he found out that having these 2 cogwheels in this combination, that I got exactly the speed I needed for my stones, which I'll show you now when I go back. Well, the third and last addition to this press concerns the tympan. The tympan sheet is for king size lithography, large, king size. So, what to do with it once you have printed a litho, where to leave it. Okay, you can have a table somewhere where you put it. But I did something else. I made an extension on the press bed to pull the tympan away, and then it goes like that. But it is also important, this extension, it's also important for if you are working with very large papers, which I did, so you can put a part of the paper on the extension and one part is coming over the press, and then you first print something on 1/2 of the paper, and then you have to turn the paper, and then the other half is going to be printed, and then the other part is on the extension. So this is very easy to do. In the past they had a system where they could put the tympan right up against the press. Was also quite a practical thing, but I decided to do like this with this extension. So those are the 3 things which I think are quite important for working in a practical sense with this press. Next week we're going to discuss the positioning of the stone on the press with all its aspects. Hope to see you next week.